Hello and welcome to the Currency Exchange NatWest FX podcast, where we break down the major themes and drivers driving currency markets this week and the week ahead. Today, I'm joined by Giovanni Zanni, who is our head Europe economist, and we're going to be discussing all things France. So, faced with a very fractious parliament, the Prime Minister Barnier tried to force through the government budget using an article of the Constitution. A vote of confidence was called, and on Thursday, that vote of confidence was passed. So it collapsed Barnier's government. Giovanni, I guess the biggest thing is what is next in terms of French politics? Where do we go from here?
Yes, hi everyone. So as you said, after the vote of confidence, Barnier, the Prime Minister, resigned this morning. And so what we are waiting for is the President Macron's intervention. Tonight he's supposed to speak at 8 p.m. local time. And that is happening within the background. The leader of the far-right party, Marine Le Pen, having declared just a couple of hours ago that she is still willing to allow the passage of the budget with a new prime minister, and that she doesn't see a reason for Macron to quit at this time as president. So let's say the backdrop is quite conciliatory from Le Pen, but I would say that she has been unreliable in the in the recent phase. So she said she was probably going to abstain, and then she voted for this, no confidence vote. And so I'm not sure that Macron will want to try again this route of having a PM that is, trying to hope for the benign abstention from Le Pen. And actually, Macron met with a prior prime minister from the center left today, suggesting that he might want to try to go to this other route, which is gathering enough MPs in the Republican front, so everyone in the parliament except the far-right Rassemblement National, to try to get enough support, at least to avoid another vote of no confidence. So not a full majority, but a kind of contract agreement that will allow this to get a government that is able to do what it's required in the coming months at least. And as probably the listener know that now, but there is no possibility in the French Constitution to get a vote before 12 months after the previous vote. So it will take at least another 7 months before we can have new elections. So between now and then, we need at least a continuation of the state. I must say that even if there is no seated government, the reality is that there are ways in the French Constitution to allow the continuity of the state, meaning being able to pay public officials and to collect taxes. So that's why what you've seen in the market is probably a contained bomb or explosion, and not something worse than that in the last 2 weeks.
So I guess we don't face that risk of a US-style government shutdown because of those elements of the French Constitution.
Absolutely.
I'm curious what you think it means, kind of the broader consequences of this crisis, I guess, both for France and for Europe as a whole.
So, of course, France is a very important country in the European construct. I would say is the real core of Europe. It's the medium country. It's in between, if you want, Germany and Italy to simplify. So you need a functioning country there. The fact that Macron is still the president, and knowing that he has an important role, actually the most important role in terms of European and international interaction, and given that we know he believes and respects the European rules, is an important guarantee at the moment. The fact is that it's not only France that is in a kind of political limbo, but we also have Germany. So the two key elements of the European engine are now not working perfectly, to say the least.
Compromised, I guess.
Well, Definitely, and I don't think that the situation will change for a few months. I mean, for France, I've just explained why, and for Germany, we have elections on the 23rd of February, and then there will be months to define a program of coalition. So let's say the second half of 2025 is the earliest period for a more stable situation, political situation. Having said that, Europe is also driven by the European Commission, that has some important and exclusive competencies in the subject, the topics that are the most relevant right now, especially with Trump's upcoming second mandate. And these are the trade policy, competition policy. So that's where von der Leyen and his team are quite relevant. So I think that she can hold the floor if you want, or she can be the bridge between now and this new national politics setting in France and Germany. But yeah, having said that, you still will have to have something more solid by the second half of next year, because there are pressing needs, pressing reforms that have to be implemented in Europe. For example, those related to the Draghi's report, and these need also some very clearly need some national capacity, and also, for example, for common funding of some of the projects on defense, infrastructure, on climate change, etc.
So, right. And I also have to ask you about quite a counterintuitive market reaction in the bond space. You had, French OAT yield against the German bond actually narrowing in the aftermath, and when most people really had expected it to really widen, to kind of build in that geopolitical risk. What do you think kind of underlays that counterintuitive market response?
Listen, I think that the first factor is definitely that everybody was short France. We spoke with many clients in recent weeks, and they were all, cautious, to say the least, on the French situation. And so that's the main reason. And then the fact that Macron is still seen as in charge, the fact that there is the sense that the opposition, including Le Pen, are willing to allow this continuity of the functions of the state, the fact that there are instruments in the French constitution that allow for this to happen even without a proper functioning government. I think that all this created this kind of a relief rally, if you want. I'm not saying that it will continue. I think that the situation has to be dealt with, that the French political situation remains particularly complex. I mean, that's the reason for today's move there.
Yeah, we definitely saw that, I guess, sense of by the rumor, sell the fact, trading in the FX space. So you had euro dollar, which barely reacted to yesterday's development on the no confidence vote. And then it's actually rallied today. I think, as you said, it was definitely priced in, the degree of political instability in France, and also euro dollar short had just been this consensus trade on a Trump presidency. So I think, now as we enter December, I think, we are looking towards the Fed. We think it's underpriced in markets. Dollar seasonals are supposed to be negative in the month of December. So we do think there's a possibility actually from some euro dollar upside. We just think it's at very overstretched levels on the downside at the moment. But Gia, thank you so much for joining me today and filling us in on all things France. That's probably about all we have time for today. If you do like the podcast, please do click like and remember to subscribe so you get the latest episode first. Thanks again.